Good morning, everyone. This is Anthony with livingtheend.com. Thanks for being here. And I wanted to come on here today to talk to you guys about dying to the old man. I've had quite a few clients of mine that have come to me. They're trying to manifest their specific person, and that in and of itself is a problem. Not trying to manifest your specific person, but the act of trying to manifest your specific person. That is a challenge, and that is a process that we need to get you out of. Because as many of you know, I always talk about the fact that it's not about the other person. It has nothing to do with the specific person. It has everything to do with you, who you are in that relationship. That's what this is all about. And that's why, and I'm going to talk about Neville Goddard, and Joseph Murphy talks about the same thing. But this is why Neville Goddard speaks of dying to the old man all the time, and why he says you are the change agent. You're the one who's got to change. The movement has to be within you, and that's why he says all of that stuff, because again, it has nothing to do with the specific person or the object of your desire. Nothing whatsoever. It has everything to do with you. And once you get a hold of that, and once you can understand that, then life becomes a bowl full of cherries for you. But until you can grasp that, then it's going to be really tough for you. And so I want to try and make this easy for you. Okay? So, first of all, realize who you are. You are an infinite being that has God in you, for lack of a better term. You can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it infinite intelligence. You can call it God. You can call it the universe, the all, the one, whatever you want to call it. That essence, that power that created everything is your real self. Not this physical body that will perish someday, sometime. All right? So, and in that case, in that body, in that essence, that power is everything. There, whatever you can imagine is in God is in you, because it's one and the same. There is no separation. So that's just run with that for right now, okay? Just go ahead and run with that. I'm going to try and keep this as short as I can, but still give you something that you can work with. All right. So now we know that we are infinite beings, and within that, whatever desire we have is a seed. Now this is where some people get kind of confused, because some coaches will say that, okay, you have this desire, and then you make an intent, okay, and then the intent is kind of like the seed is like sowing the seed. Yes and no. It is sowing the seed. However, where did that seed come from? this is what's missing in a lot of people. They don't understand where that seed or where that desire came from. Okay? There are people that desire certain people. There are people that desire certain cars. There are people that desire certain pizzas. There are certain people that desire different homes, and certain people want to live in different parts of the world. All right? We all have our own desires. Okay? And with that desire that came to you comes everything that's needed for you to experience that desire. Okay? Now, I left out two things, and I did it on purpose. When I said for you to experience, I left out experience in your imagination, and I left out experience in your 3D world. Because here's the kicker. The experience is both the same. It doesn't matter where you experience it, whether you experience it in your imagination or you experience it in the 3D physical realm. It's the same. There is no difference. So this is key, folks. This is really, really key. Many of you that have been around me for a while, you always hear me talking about experience your desire. Who would you be? How would you feel? What are the things that you would do if you were that person that had that car? If you were the person that was in that relationship, if you were the person that had that home, if you were the person that won that jackpot, who would you be? This is about who you would be. This whole thing is about who you would be. Again, Neville and Joseph Murphy both said this. And so did Florence Scovel Shinn. You don't get what you want. You get who you are being. It has nothing to do with what you want. It has everything to do with who you are being. Okay? Now, I'm gonna circle back to you need to die to the old man. All right? So, many of you, for whatever reason, and I was the same way, for whatever reason, we want to stay the same, or we want to have it like I just wish it would go back to the way it was. Well, the way it was got you where you are today. Sure you want to go back there? I didn't think so. The relationship that you had was not the relationship that you want. I guarantee it. Because as I dig deep into the questions that I ask you guys as I'm sitting with you, I find out that there are generally a lot of things that you didn't like. And that you want changed. And then what invariably happens is I start to see that very thing in you. I start to see the very thing that you want to change. I see it in you. And you know why? Because everything and everyone in every circumstance is yourself pushed out. That's why Neville said you must die to the old man. Because if you don't die to the old man, you're going to get more of the old man. That's why you can move from one relationship to the next relationship and it ends the same way. The circumstances inside that relationship are so frighteningly similar that it's as if you manifested the same person that you had before. Freaky how that happens, huh? And so then what happens is you get into a victim mentality, and I say you as a plural because me too. I did the same thing. Why is this happening to me? Which is what we ask all the time. We start asking ourselves, what is happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Why does it always happen to me? Okay? And the whole reason why is because you've moved on from one person. You attracted the same type of person. Okay? There's things that could be different. They could live in a different place. They could not look the same and stuff. But you've attracted the same circumstances to an extent. Okay? There was a third party involved. Boom. The second one, there's a third party involved. It didn't have to be. But you put the third party there. Okay? The SP wasn't faithful. Boom. You get into another one where another relationship where the SP isn't faithful. Okay? You haven't died to the old man because, see, in those scenarios, you have a belief. Let's look at the one where there's a third party. In that one, invariably, you have a belief that you're not good enough. Every single client that I have that had a third party, and to be honest with you, I haven't had a lot because I try not to focus on the third party. It's funny. I look at coaches that continually talk about third parties, and it's amazing how many of their clients have third parties. Then I look at coaches that you never hear them say anything about third parties. And the comments, it's rare to see in the comments their clients have anything to do with third parties. So I don't have a lot of clients that have a third party issue. It's not something that I focus on. And so therefore it's rare for me to have that. But from the ones that I do, when I go back and I look at, okay, what transpired here in both of these situations was the client did not feel that they were good enough. There was always something in the background that at first was hidden. In every single case was hidden. And this brings me up to another point that I want to make, but I'll get to that. But in all these cases, it was hidden. I had to dig to find it in every single one. But in every single one, they didn't think that they were good enough. And so, because of that, they all ended up with a third party in one form or fashion. And the third party does not have to be a romantic relationship third party. It could be a brother, a sister, a mother, a pet. It could be almost anything that gets in the way that you become jealous of. Okay? That's what's happening here. So, why does this happen? Why does the same thing keep playing out? It's because you keep bringing to your new relationship, You keep bringing to your new relationship the same old baggage and beliefs that you had before. But you're expecting different results this time because the person is different. No, they're not. They're exactly the person that you designed to show up in your reality. That's who they are. And that's why you continue to get the same results in those relationships until you change and you become the person that would be in that healthy, loving, committed relationship. You won't be in a loving, healthy, committed relationship. It won't happen. You have to drop all of those old beliefs that you had and fill yourself with the beliefs of I am and I have always been more than good enough for anybody's love and commitment. I am and have always been the most beautiful person that walks into a room. That's what you need to do. That has to be within you. You have to start to feel this. Now, are you going to feel this right away from doing all this stuff? No, you're not going to. I didn't. I had my ego was screaming at me like nobody's business. But not anymore. Because I persisted in it. This is where, again, Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy, and Florence Scovel Shinn talk about persistence. Even the Bible talks about being persistent. You have to be persistent. You can't just let it go. And do it once or twice and hope that everything just clicks. You're not Dorothy. You can't just click your heels and then everything comes about. That's not what happens here. I told everybody in the very first video I did on both here and on my private Facebook group. And I didn't realize there was this many. There's like 100 videos on that private Facebook group. So if you're not on there, you're missing out because there's a lot of stuff on there. And it's free. Doesn't cost you anything. So if you're trying to hold on to old beliefs and stuff, if you're trying to hold on to blaming the other person because in some weird way it feels good for you to be a victim. Okay, to me, it's just the lack of taking responsibility for where you are in your life right now. That's really all it is. When you break it all down, you don't want to take responsibility. You want to blame somebody else for where you are. You want to blame somebody else for bringing in a third party. You want to put that on them. That's not them. They're merely a shadow in your reality. They're an actor that you brought in, and they're just following the script that you gave them. That's all that's happening. But we don't want to believe that. Die to the old man and replace those old beliefs with new beliefs that are empowering beliefs. That are I am, and then to the positive part. Okay? Now the one thing that I was gonna say earlier. And this is, again, this is for all you coaches that don't believe that there is some form or fashion of programming that's done here. Okay? If you're telling your client that there is no programming in there that you have to change or that you have to fix and so on and so forth, okay? If you're telling them something like that, then you need to stop telling them about affirmations, about mantras, about mental diets, about all of that stuff. Because what the hell do you think it is? What? What do you think it is? And folks, this isn't for my clients and stuff. This is for those coaches out there that are telling these people this stuff. And some of these coaches are huge. Although our self, our true self, is a spiritual infinite being, we cannot argue the fact that our bodies are following classic laws of physics. And within those classic laws of physics come certain things where we have these synapses and we have these like neural links that get bigger and stronger with repetition. We can't get away from that. But there are some of us coaches out there that are trying to tell these people who are looking to them for ways out of where they've been for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And they're telling them to just be. They've got 40 or 50 years of crap running around in their heads, and you're not giving them any tools in which to get past that stuff. You've got to give them tools to get past that stuff. It's not enough to just tell them, you're an infinite being, everything is yours, go get it. No, that's not how that works. Now, there's a couple of you, one I'm going to be contacting here pretty soon, that are spot on. Not only are they saying that just be, because it really is that simple, but it isn't that easy. And this individual understands, or these individuals understand, that there is some form of repetition that has to happen, one way or another. And they themselves still do these repetitions. They have to. They don't have a choice. They've got to do it. They have to do it. So, folks, die to the old man. Replace those old beliefs with the new beliefs of the person that you want to be. And repeat that person to yourself over and over and over again. And when, not if, but when the ego comes back to throw something in your face, say, no, that's not my reality. That's not the person I am. This is who I am. And go back to that new person that you want to be. That's how this is done. Folks, thanks for listening. If you've got any questions, email me at anthony@liveintheend.com. I will try to get to you as fast as I can. Sometimes it takes 48 hours for me to answer emails. But ask away. There's no question that's off limits, unless of course, well, you know. Ask away. I really feel for a lot of your pain, because I've been there before. I know exactly what you're going through. For those of you who are facing financial challenges and stuff, at one point I was riding high, and the next point everything came crashing down and I had nothing. I had absolutely nowhere to go. 9 months later, I was staring at a 6-figure income. I lost the love of my life. And it took everything I had to put a relationship back together again. It wasn't easy. And there were days when I wanted to quit. But I didn't. I didn't quit. Folks, you can't quit either. Because once you get past the point and you see that you are that infinite being, it becomes fun then. It really becomes fun. Thanks for listening, folks, and remember, you've got this.